Guys, so on the internet, I saw this post where a girl said that her dad sends her a bunch of questions that she has to answer before she brings her man to meet him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do this, by the way?
Not my dad.
Not my dad either. Here are some of the questions. Number 1, what are important personal stories that shaped who he is today? Number 2, where did he go to school and did he graduate? Number 3, does he have a family history of diabetes, mellitus, blood disorders, sickle cell traits, sickle cell disease, and cancers?
Okay.
Number 4, does he have any past surgical procedure? Has he had, I guess. Number 5, when did you start dating him and now how many girls has he dated prior to you? Number 6, does he smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, steak frequency, and how many drinks per occasion? Has he ever used illicit or recreational drugs? What is he doing for a living? That's number 7. Number 8, who does he live with? Number 9, why did he break up with his last girlfriend? Number 10, does he make you feel supported and safe? Number 11, what do you like most and least about him? There are apparently some more, but that's what we've got.
Would you ever?
That's disgusting. I mean,
Really?
I mean, it's silly. First of all, is he working? That's the only question you need to know. And before you even start. But nobody really knows those answers at this stage. I mean, you're dating. You wouldn't know, would you, straight away, what diabetes, what his count is straight away.
Yeah.
Should we answer these questions earlier, though?
Yeah, as an opener. I know my mum always had this thing about illness. It was specifically mental illness.
Oh.
So you say you're bringing somebody, and if you're going to do a knock-in, she would be like, is there any mental health issues in your family? But that was she would ask them,
Right.
like somebody's going to say, yeah, there's 3 generations of people going mad. But it was something that you would ask. I kind of like those questions.
I don't think it's realistic. I think, first of all, do you like the guy?
Fair.
First of all, do you like him? Is he nice? Is he good to you?
Is he good to you?
Simple as that. After that, you kind of start working the other things out. Because if you love somebody who's sick, you can't go, oh, yeah, he's sick, so I don't love him anymore.
Oh.
But I do think like the sickle cell and sickle cell
It's
trait
important.
is
that's
really,
important.
really important. Like I think more people need to disclose that up front. So you don't get to the stage where you do like someone and then you're in a tricky situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I personally, I don't see anything wrong with these questions.
They're not
Like-
wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's
Wild.
it's not realistic.
But it's like they could have been dating, but this is like what the dad wants to see before you bring them home. So they could have been dating for 3 months, 6 months, whatever kind of thing. But like, yeah, I would want to be able to answer all of those questions before I bring anyone home. And like, unfortunately, my dad passed away, but like, I didn't bring anyone home. Like ever, and I didn't bring anyone home. Like my older brother's the head of the family. Like no, like do you know what I mean? If I brought someone home, I would need to know all of that.
The answer.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Without having the list, I would just because I'll be grilled, 100%.
I think my dad, when I first brought my first boyfriend home, he said to me, "Is he white?"
That was the question.
That was the question. He said, "Is he white?" So I said, "Why did he say it?" Because because I'm in the acting field.
Yeah.
He didn't realise. He didn't think. You know what I mean? So I said, "No." He go, "Okay."
And that was it.
And that was it. I was more worried about my brothers. I got 4 older brothers. So that's the scrutiny that would be the difficult one.
Yeah.
But no one ever considered his health or those things at that time. I think it's nice to consider now.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's wild. I'm with you. Like, there's some questions in there that are important.
Yeah.
Is that the order that she has to answer?
They're just listing who knows. if
Okay,
it
because I was
what
thinking
was
that order is wild.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
I'll
Just
order, but yeah.
Yeah, because there's some things in there like, how you asking that? Is he good to you? How's that so far down the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to
I mean,
be
it's
like,
just
wait, at the
I
top.
just took it like.
I know. I was just asking. I think I can't imagine asking my daughter when she starts dating. I must know all these things before you come. Because I think when they're ready to introduce someone to the family, that's when it's getting a bit more serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's when they're trying. That's another test. How do they interact with my family? That in itself is a test.
Yeah.
So I think to know all of those questions at that point, you may not know all of them. It's health stuff. I think you should start having those questions.
Yeah.
But some of it, I don't know,
I
man.
definitely didn't grill my daughter, but the information came out as an evolution, and there's nothing that I felt she wasn't aware of in when she had her significant other and when he came around us, around the family, around me. and really, because he lived with me for a spell as well. So I felt like there was stuff that I knew. I'm just looking at all these things. And there was some, like, definitely because she's a sickle cell trait, I'm a sickle cell trait. So she had to have those questions up front. And she's very particular about that because we have it in the family. I lost my sister to sickle cell. So it's very, very important that we get that clarified early. And I've made her know that you've got to have this answer quite high up. But yeah, I'm not opposed to this. Definitely not from my dad. But my mum, I hit everybody because I was nonsense anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't mind these questions being asked, even just to have them in mind. Like, actually, what am I doing? Because I know that I've not been the greatest in putting my best foot forward in the guys that I've dated. And there's some questions that maybe I've been scared because of insecurities to ask, because you don't want to lose them, because you just want to not be that nagging girlfriend or do whatever. So having these things in my mind as actually, are you compromising anything just for the sake of, say you've got a man, or just for the sake of some nookie or whatever? So these questions being in my mind would be a good thing, I think.
Also, we were kind of like, is it your type?
Yeah.
Because everything was, know your type. And, you know, your parents used to say, you know, your type. And you say, what do you mean your type? Where their parents coming from? Does their people like your people?
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Because right now, culturally, we're all mixed. So I'm married to a Dominican. So some of the Dominican side didn't like
other side.
didn't like Jamaican.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you had that issue going on.
Oh, that's a standard thing.
Jamaicans are
So
sorry,
Jamaican,
but Jamaicans
Asian,
are, you know,
there's a clash there.
Yeah.
So back in the
They are.
day, that was the thing. Where their people come from.
Yeah.
Right.
And do they like our people?
Right.
Or we like their people?
It's the same as us, isn't it? We got
exactly. It's a thing.
So those are the things that came up. And then when the person comes through, you can see from the character. Is that person, can that person manage you? Because the things that you want to do, does that person want to do it?
Yeah.
Are they going to hold you back?
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, introducing them to the family is also a test for how that works. Because there are definitely some people who've been introduced, like, not my partners, but, like, say my sisters. They've introduced, like, some guys to the family. It's like, with my brothers, like, they have not survived. They've run away, like, screaming and crying while touching their invisible belt.
That was a big helping.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, my daughter had to make her boyfriend pass the test of her dad. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he pass? Did he pass
I think the level of fear is not
I think
bad.
it's a healthy dose of
I
fear.
think so.
It's good.
Yeah.
And I do
gotta know where you
think
come
that
from.
these questions, they're at least conversation starters, because if you don't know why he broke up with his ex-girlfriend, but you're bringing him home, is that a good position to be in?
Yeah, exactly.
Not really. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, how does he, you know, how did that relationship go? How did he treat her? How did he talk about her? Do you know what I mean? And like, you need to know that. That's important information.
Is he going to say?
He might not tell the truth, but then if you catch him out in a lie, then you know he's a liar. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you learn information either way.
But that's it. I do think that these are good conversation starters, but it's the all of these things must be. I think that's the part that I'm stuck.
If it's like a reel off, it's like I think, and also it's like testament to the relationship you have with your children. Because if you can speak to your parents about these things, that's also something like, oh, actually, you know, coming from a good place, you're looking out for me. Let me think about these things, and maybe not being Sergeant Major. He's not coming through this door or asking literally the minute he's outside.
No, I don't.
You know,
I
it's
don't,
not
I
even
don't
that,
mind
you
a bit
know.
of that. I don't mind that authoritarian. Because it's like, do you know what I mean? Know that there's someone you have to answer to.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm
I
not
do like that.
Like, do you know what I mean? I'm
Yes,
not isolated. There is someone that you. Do you know what I mean? That you
But
can't.
also,
talk
it's
anyhow. You can't treat me anyhow.
Yes.
There's going to be
There's
repercussions.
brothers that are coming.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, my dad
yeah.
has set a standard of how much I should know you.
Yeah.
And that also stops people from bringing everybody that they're seeing
Exactly.
into the house.
Yeah.
So if you
Does she have
don't
brothers?
know him properly, you can't bring this man into my house. I actually think that's quite... I will do similar with the
I think
boys.
so.
I was
You've
gonna
got to
say,
know the girls.
that's why I think some of it is fine.
Yeah.
But it's the level of the list for me. But I would like to hope that he does this with the boys too.
Yeah,
if they have, he
100%.
has brothers.
Yes,
Because that part, there was also a lot of guys who just bring home any gal all the
Can't
time,
bring anyone in.
and then it's like, oh, another one.
Yeah, yes,
Like,
you know,
I-
that
there's-
conveyor belt.
Yeah.
There's certain
And
people
there's no
I know,
questions
they
asked.
don't even interact with the girlfriends because like, our new one will be here next week.
Yeah, that's not
Lord.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Did you see? I saw it as a fleeting. It was an Instagram post again that a mother had said they don't get their inheritance if they have kids before being married. It was a flash past. I don't know.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll find it and we'll have another conversation about it. Yeah, the sons.
If they don't, if they get pregnant, they're not going to get inheritance.
Wow.
It's like having kids out of wedlock. I think there's a big...
That's a motivation, though.
I mean, like to do better,
And
innit?
that sounds like a Tyler Perry movie. Do you know what I mean?
Why did I not get my inheritance? Part 7. Oh, God.
That's another reason for a funeral scene, isn't it?
Honestly. Welcome to your Aunties Could Never. Happy New Year! Yeah. I'm Auntie AK, the auntie of all aunties. And I'm here with...
Did you forget yourself?
Yes. I'm back to basics, baby. And I'm here with...
I'm Farah, your resident Caribbean queen.
I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And I'm all things sugar and Shay Sade.
Hey! And we welcome one of the UK's OG queens of comedy, Ms. Angie Le Mar. We had to start the show off right. Okay, guys, we've got some announcements. First of all, you must
Boop the like button, 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 boop the like button.
boop it now. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our membership. It costs a certain amount of money. It hasn't gone up yet. It will do.
It has
gone up.
actually, yes.
Oh my God. How much is it now?
We have tiers. To support us, it's $1.99. To become family, it's $4.99.
That's $4.99.
Yes, it is.
Still cheaper than a bag of chips.
Just about, darling.
It is actually cheaper than a bag of chips.
It's still cheaper.
We'll go with it.
Yes.
Chips are like £5, son.
Ain't they a tenner?
No.
That's
no,
with cod.
that's for a
No,
piece of
with
cod.
cod and chips is like
No,
15.
£9.
Yeah.
Imagine a piece of cod.
So chips are £5
Chips are
plus.
fine.
It's expensive. Okay.
Guys, also, if you're listening on the podcast airwaves, that's Apple, Spotify, all those places, please leave comments. And absolutely, by the way, we need...
Leave us a review. 5 stars and 5 stars only, please. If not, return to sender. Go.
lightning.
No more.
It was
was a
actually
one-off.
fire I did.
You did. It was like... It's amazing. And guys, serious time. Just a reminder that we are your aunties, your favourite aunties on the internet, but we are not experts. We're just sharing our thoughts, sharing our opinions, sharing our minds with you.
Yeah.
But we are not experts. So please do your own research, find your own facts, source your own sources, draw your own conclusions, and that's it all.
I have a comment.
Go on.
left a comment
That's
for
what
this?
I'm saying.
Sorry.
Every
leave it at
podcast
comment.
needs a
No,
disclaimer.
no, listen.
no, we know.
It's not that. We know that. We used
But
to
it's
do
so-
this.
yeah.
This has not happened for about
someone
150
leave a comment?
episodes. So I just wanted to know,
I just remembered.
had something happened?
New year.
You have literally not said that for about
For
2
a
years.
year.
I know.
Yeah.
I absolutely kept forgetting.
Okay.
Okay.
And I've inserted it back into the script.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I remember.
Now remember the disclaimer. Don't try and
I
do
beg
any
you.
shenanigans, guys.
It's just our thoughts and our
Just
ideas.
for entertainment.
Just
Allegedly.
Just fine.
So they say, so I heard. Okay, guys, we're back. Enemy of progress. We're protecting you from the madness out there. Auntie Farah, take it away.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'll come back.
So my enemy is the Biden administration, the Western media, David Lammy, Keir Starmer,
Yeah.
and every fucker, sorry I swear Angie, every fucker that did nothing to stop the war in Gaza. Because today, after 466 days and 50,000 plus people dead, murdered, we have a ceasefire. Now, the reason why them people are in my bin, because they've been funding this thing for the last 14 months and the last 466 days. And the ceasefire deal that has been reached is the same ceasefire deal that was put to the table 8 months ago.
Nonsense.
So they're all in a bin.
Can't even celebrate the ceasefire because of all the shenanigans and nonsense and disgusting murder that's happened. Can't even be jubilant because there's still conditions, isn't there? There's still like, if they don't reach a certain... I can't remember what it was.
Hold on,
Go on.
I've got it.
You've got
Please
the
bear with
facts.
me, caller. I do have the facts. So it's a 16-week cessation of hostilities. In that time, Israel military must withdraw from within 700 meters of inside Gaza. 33 Israeli captives and about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners must be released. Israel allows the wounded Palestinians to leave Gaza for treatment, and the Rafah crossing is to open within 7 days. There's also a 3 to 5 year reconstruction plan for Gaza, an exchange of the rest of the captives in Gaza for more Palestinian prisoners, and the exchange of bodies killed for Israel and for Palestine, and the eventual full withdrawal from Israel from Gaza. That is what has been put to the table today.
There was something about it. If they don't have something about their leadership within 42 days,
But they don't change over.
or something like that. Something about the
I think
leadership.
the leadership needs to change.
Mm.
Basically, as Westerners always do.
Yeah.
The Western powers, they always try and change out the leaders.
One that would be a puppet for them.
Saying that, in effect,
For
that
Israel.
can't be run
Oh.
by Hamas.
Mm.
So they want a new political system to come into place for this to be sustained.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they'll go back in again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and part of the deal is that they have to remove themselves from the crossings that they have. So they've taken over a section which, in one of the deals that Bill Clinton did years ago, they all confirmed. But so they have to move away from that as well. They have to do a lot of things. I just don't know if they're going to do it. I'd like to think that they do, and I'm glad that this is some respite for the Palestinians because they have really gone through the worst in the last 466 days, and the bodies are still going to be counted. Because there's people unaccounted for, tens of thousands of people unaccounted for.
Yeah.
What's the perspective of the war from Jamaica? Is there any kind of, is it?
Well, actually, you don't have that perspective. You're still using internet and you're still using that because the news is the news that this is happening, that's happening, but no one's really in that way vocal. So not vocal, but in terms of what our government is doing. So for me, I would be getting the news from social media, like that. And watching LA in the last couple of days and seeing people land flattened, and people homeless, and people devastated, and having to think about that when we're thinking about war, and people kind of having to really separate, like, oh, but that's LA. That's sad. But now they both look like war-torn places.
Yep.
And people are now starting to recognise that, wait a minute, this is what you did to yourselves.
Yeah.
You chose to do this. And I really do think that there's a big, huge karma on the world right now. For all those who sat by and just thought, but that's nothing to do with us.
Yep.
It's for them, it's for us, this is for this. And this is where ignorance is really so dangerous right now. Because today for me, tomorrow for you. Don't think that we can't go to war tomorrow. Don't think that we can't have a fire, we can't have a
nuclear strike or something.
We could have anything. Nuclear, anything could happen right now. We're not safe in the world right now. So everybody right now, ceasefire is great. It's great. But it doesn't mean that you're moving forward in the right way yet. Because you just stopped doesn't mean that you're stopping for the right reasons. And those are the issues that, So,
absolutely. Yeah, because 100%. The occupation still exists.
Yeah.
And what this has done is expose really what the powers in the world are up to and what they think is important and what they don't think is important. They don't value human life as much as we probably thought that they. It's wicked. It's wicked, and it's also, if you look at Biden again, he said that each person in LA is entitled to, I think it's $766.
A one-off payment.
A one-off payment.
$766.
Yeah, a one-off payment. That's what they get.
A one-off payment. Now, in the last 14 months, he sent, I think it's like 83 billion or something like that to Gaza for them to fund, not to Gaza, sorry, to Israel for their weapons. That's what he sent. And then he's given the people in LA $766.
But is that to move out of LA? Because this is the thing. Right. It doesn't mean rebuild.
No.
It can mean going somewhere else and.
That's a shopping bill. That's what he said.
That's
it's for shopping bill. For amenities. It's for water and resources. It's not
700.
It's
but
not.
Mind you, Congress is still trying to block it though. Do you know what I mean?
Payment.
Even they don't want to put it through. He's hoping that they'll put it through
because he's out of government soon.
Basically.
And he got like 5 days.
He's got about 5 days.
The annoying thing about this ceasefire is because Trump was like, he said, "I'm going to rain holy hell fire on Israel if there is not a cease, or not on Israel, on Gaza if there's not a ceasefire. So it's like he's now going to take the credit. He's inaugurating in like 5 days. He's going to take the
both
credit.
trying to take the credit, which is the problem.
But, and then you know what, Trump's going to be big and ballsy with it. And be like, yes, it was me. It was down to me. And people are saying that
even in some of the press reports, it's like President-elect Donald Trump has confirmed the ceasefire.
Yeah, that's how it's going.
I've seen that already.
Yeah, it's already been confirmed through his mouth.
Not Elon. Not through a tweet.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're beefing, aren't they? Aren't the girls beefing?
No,
they've made up now.
The MAGA people are beefing.
Okay.
Trump's advisor, I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But he's like, he's the epitome of evil, basically.
Yeah.
He's
Stephen Miller.
Maybe that guy.
I think it's Stephen Miller.
He was saying that we're going to get Elon out of Trump's inner circle.
Oh,
That's what he's saying, yeah. So we'll see. Elon, I think Elon's gone too far. I mean, we'll talk about it. I think he's overstepping.
Oh.
He's overstepping. And Trump's not good. His ego's not going to take that. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
There's too much.
Yeah.
All right.
DJ Khaled's also in the bin for me.
Oh, yes, yes. Give it to
he came online and he said, prayers for LA. Yeah, prayers for LA, but you're Palestinian. I ain't seen you say shit.
He hasn't.
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Never.
Nothing. Not a single comment in this whole time.
I really think it's out of order. Because even if you're not born in Palestine, but he is a Palestinian man.
He's a Palestinian.
He has a house there as well. That your homeland is being bombed to smithereens. People are destitute, literally dying in their thousands. And you don't say, even I'm praying for my homeland.
Nothing.
Just a simple, like, is money really that valuable?
For them, yes.
Apparently he tweeted in 21, he made a post about pray for Palestine, and that was it. Nothing soon.
But no, but it wasn't
When
even,
it started 21,
it wasn't even individual. It was pray for light and, love and light to my Palestinians and everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like it was just
someone that's
for Palestine. You know, he's a very, very prominent figure.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been saying so much. He could have, just one tweet would have done a lot. You've got like Macklemore and all these people, Kalani, just to name 2 people that have come out and said stuff and like raised the issue on their platform. He's Palestinian. Do you think that something could be going on in Grenada and I'm just sitting on this pod saying nothing? You'd have to stop me from talking.
100.
But it's crazy.
But who are their bosses?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's it. That's the problem.
That's what it comes down to.
They've sold their soul.
I think he's in a position. I think he's in a position, and I think he's been beholden to that position, and he's chosen not to say anything because he knows it's the safest bet, right or wrong.
I think that is exactly what's happened, but it's wrong.
I'm not calling it wrong.
I'm not disputing the issue of why he's being silent. I understand that he's silent because there's a lot to be lost for him, innit? But that's your people.
What about
How do you not say anything?
I was just about to say, what's he doing behind the scenes? Is he doing anything behind the scenes?
Some people are doing stuff behind the scenes and can't say nothing. It's sad. It's wrong.
No, it's
But
true.
right
You
now,
are right.
everybody's in a position, scared of cancel, scared of this. If I say this, if I say that, it's a really sad time for a lot of people, and it's weak.
Yeah,
it's weak. We've become weak as a society where we can't actually go, I want to say this, and it doesn't affect my life.
Yeah.
Or expanding, if it's weak, or is it if he's got roots in Palestine still and family ties in Palestine? I wonder what that is. I don't know. I actually know nothing about DJ Khaled.
And I think that's by design. Do you know what I mean? Because his people could directly be targeted if he speaks. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
I don't know.
So I think people might have their reasons. We just don't know. Do you know what I mean? And I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt just because of his, I'm going to say his brand, but like, do you know what I mean? In terms of like giving and gratitude and all that kind of stuff.
You have to say that about everybody then, because everybody's tied to something in some way.
But I think it's levels though. I think it depends on levels, because this is dealing with destruction and we're calling it genocide. So, and is genocide visible? We're seeing people being obliterated. So if he does have ties there and family there, and I don't know, there's a window where, and again, we just don't know. It's very easy to say, on the front facing, you should say something. But I think I said it before, there's something about just speaking up. Unless they're speaking up, okay, I tweet, pray for Palestine. this is bad, and then what? What are you? And especially
Do something
as a Palestinian,
do something. And I hear what both of you are saying, but I just still think it is wrong. I think it's disgusting that he has not said anything, but he's going on and doing shit, having black men carry him out of his car, talk about his fucking sneakers, shit like that. He's out everywhere doing everything all the time. At the very least, it's tone deaf.
Yeah,
at the very
there's things that he's doing that's tone deaf. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying I think that there's something different about having roots in a place that's being obliterated and family, and maybe that's why he feels like, you know what, it's best I don't say anything on that. Maybe he's doing stuff behind the scenes. I don't know.
You know why it's not okay to not talk about it? Because for years you couldn't talk about Palestine without losing everything for many years. And the change has kind of come about in the last, let's say, 4 years. And that's from Bella Hadid really losing stuff and talking. So when you have an atrocity that's going on in your homeland, and you know, me not shedding a light on this, and maybe I'm going to lose something, but if I do it, then other people are like, you know what? I've got to talk about it as well.
Showing solidarity.
It snowballs. Yeah. So him not talking, that is detrimental. It is fuckeries because you are a Palestinian man. And there isn't too many Palestinians that made it out of Palestine. So the fact that you have, and you're one of the richest and most influential, it's disgusting for you not to talk.
Because what it does is, as well, it does shed a light on what's happening there, and it makes people actually research, because this whole thing of what was the rhetoric of, oh, it's too complicated, I don't know what's going on there, blah, blah. People have actually taken the time now to actually look at the history of the conflict and to understand that it started 76 years ago. And beyond that, with the Balfour Convention, like all the British giving Palestine to the Israelis and saying this is going to be a home. This is going to be a home for the Jewish community, which is, on one hand, they were trying to get rid of them from Europe. That's really what it was. It wasn't for the benefit of those people.
No.
They didn't want to deal with it after what was happening. The atrocities that were happening in Europe that was caused by Europeans. They didn't want to deal with that shit. But people don't do that research before. You're just fed, oh, it's complicated. And that's what you go along with.
Scared of being cancelled.
By talking about, even us here on this platform, it's opened up people's knowledge. And that's not to say that we're all experts, but us just vocalising certain things, it's opened that up, and people have gone and they've looked into it and they've learnt a little bit more. I have seen images in the last 14 months that I will never, ever unsee.
Yeah.
I will never unsee that shit.
Who's your enemy?
All right, my enemy. You know what? It's a question.
Okay.
All right. I've got a question for you guys. So Alison Holker, who is the widow of Stephen tWitch boss, who unalived himself 3 years ago. So we're going to be discussing that. Trigger warning for everybody. She has come under fire, right? Because she is putting out a memoir that is her memoir, but also includes excerpts from his journal, which he kept private, and she didn't know while they were married that he even had a journal. So she's letting off some of his secrets, and she's also come out and said that maybe he had a drug addiction that she also didn't know about as well. So his family are now up in arms, like, literally, you are destroying his legacy. I can't believe you were doing this. And then to top it off, it's come to bear that for his funeral, she made his family and hers sign an NDA to come to the funeral. His mother included. His dear mother had to sign an NDA to go to her son's funeral. So all of this is going on. We've got his best friend coming out and providing receipts on how she thinks about their family. Her daughter has come out and is like, I don't like that side of the family because they're disrespectful. It's all going on. My question to you is, in the comments, bare black women are fighting like this is out of order and saying to black men, this is what happens when you get with a white woman. Should we care as black women that this black man went and created a family with this white woman and now she is just ruining his legacy? Should we be in the comments fighting?
Because she's an enemy. Is she an enemy or not?
Is she an enemy or not? Or should we even care?
I think we care because we were sad that he unalived him. So, and that was sad because we liked him. Do you know what I mean? And even though we knew who he was married to, we didn't really care. We cared about him, and it's disappointing. And if you've been around anybody or experienced when somebody commits suicide, it is traumatic because you have questions that you actually need answers to. So on that side of things, I would imagine she would do her research. His private journal is his private journal.
Right.
And as black women, we could say, you see? That's why he should marry us. We could do that one.
Yeah.
But he didn't marry us and we liked him. But we wanted to remember him as a man that we respected and whatever. You look at her now and I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. It's like Kobe Bryant when you hear about the family not being able to get any of his money or get any inheritance or even get any kind of like memorabilia for him.
Yeah.
Because the wife is keeping it.
Yeah.
And you just think, what is wrong with women sometimes? Whereby that you think you own this man. You don't own him. Why would a mother sign an NDA to go to a funeral? She says it's because they don't want to take pictures and put it out to whatever.
Yeah, she
When
wants
has anybody ever gone to
control
the
the
funeral,
narrative.
taken pictures and tweeted the fact this is a dead body?
I've never seen that.
Never seen that.
People do things because in this social media world, there's going to be maybe not the mum, but it's going to be maybe some of the family. But it's still like, why over controlling it? It's like, and what are you saying about the family to say that everyone's so like loose with it, they can't control themselves, they're all going to be acting wild. That's
But
damning
if you're going to write an
people.
autobiography, if you're going to get a commission to write an autobiography, they're going to say to you, what can you give us? Because your life is boring.
Yeah.
So we
Goddess
don't want
the
nothing
wife,
from you.
in
So we
quotes.
want his life. We will give you X amount of millions if you can open that story. Well, I have found this book. Well, then you're going to get these millions.
That's why it's fuckeries.
Yeah.
Because she made the family sign an NDA to go to the funeral, but she's okay exposing his innermost, deepest thoughts
Right.
that he didn't expose to the world, that he kept to himself.
Yeah.
But you made his mum sign an NDA to go to the funeral. Make it make sense.
It's the height of betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think about like the kids as well. Like this is what you're doing on a national, like international stage,
Yeah.
and like really kind of destroying their father's legacy and what they stand for. And I get what like the sentiment of like, oh, helping people who've gone through similar things. But I think you can just do it differently.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need to do this in this way at all. Like he clearly didn't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
That's why it was private in the first place.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like maybe take that to therapy. Like, do you know what I
Take
mean?
it to
Take that to therapy and deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing, instead of doing this, what looks like a money grab, to be honest, like if I ever did see one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think it's disrespectful for her daughter to be coming out and saying things as well. That is disgusting. Like, do you know what I mean? This is not the time. And I get that you might think that you're defending your mother, but like your mother put herself in the line of fire, so she needs to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the price you pay for betraying your marriage.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the price you pay. I'm just disgusted by the whole thing, to be honest, honestly. And in terms of people in the comments, I don't know, people need to express themselves. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that is just a given. But like, boy, this is what, unfortunately, I hate I'm even quoting this man, but Dr. Uma talks about.
You didn't.
Get with us, no money. This is not your behaviour.
I mean, should we care? I think it's all part and parcel of the comments. We can care. We can care about what's going on. We can care about the behaviour of someone that's betraying anybody who's betraying the person who's not with us anymore. Their privacy. No one gains from it. Like she only person gains is she and her children and the millions that she gets, and that's it. I don't think it's respectful. I think it's horrible. And then there was a bit of backlash to the daughter as well, because then the daughter's in the line of fire. A young girl who, she's grieving in her own way. She's only 16, but she took herself to the internet to then defend her mum, and she's calling him by his first name.
I know.
So that was
I
another
thought
thing.
that was strange in itself.
And he adopted her. He's not her biological father. They've got 3 kids together, and the 2 youngest are with him, and then she's from a previous relationship. But he adopted her. So that, and I know that.
She's saying that she's not adopted.
Oh, is that what she's saying?
Yeah. She's like,
So maybe
no.
there's some sort of contention there. Maybe that's what. Maybe we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know the ins and outs of that
But to
family.
be
I
fair,
guess.
no one wants to hear it.
No one wants to hear
no
it.
one wants to
You don't
hear
need
that.
to
And
hear
he
it.
would say that's my
Yeah.
child. So to now be calling him Stephen, I was offended.
Offended.
Yeah.
Literally like, what the?
It just
and
shows.
Connie,
Respectful.
a grandma, Connie, you're calling her by not even Miss.
Like, and this is where the
rubbing it in.
And that's giving more fuel for the snow bunny.
Yeah.
We don't do that in our upbringing, stuff like that. And I don't know the dynamics. The daughter was saying, the other family don't check on her and all that type of stuff. But who knows the dynamics? Because sometimes as well, when men marry away from, and it's not necessarily outside their race, but away from the culture, whatever they grew up around, sometimes they become isolated and then they adopt the family they take into. And then their other stuff, what they grew up around is not welcome in that space.
But if the family aren't reaching out to her, maybe that's because your mum made them sign an NDA.
It will also,
it all goes back to that, isn't it?
Throughout family life.
But also,
but I know, but if that could have been the start of
I don't think that's the first time she's done something out of her pocket.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That would be wild.
The other thing I was going to say, sorry.
No, just to say that, if your partner kills himself, people are going to look at you.
Yeah.
And think, what did you do?
True.
Why couldn't he come to you? So everything's focused on. So she probably thought, I've got information that says it wasn't me. It was him.
Okay.
There could be that.
Okay.
Perspective where it's like, I didn't do that. He's been struggling
How
for a
can I
long
prove
time. So there's so many.
But is there a way you could just say, okay, you were going to say something, sorry.
What I was going to say, that's a very good point, but it's the part that she's getting paid for it. Because if it's not about money and it is about you trying to, prove that you didn't do wrong and to work through the process and to help people, then do stuff for free.
Yeah.
She could have maybe opened up a charity where she talks to people with counsellors and engages and talks about the experiences that he went through. You don't have to do this for money if that's not what it's about.
And public facing, because to be fair, there's so much else going on in the world that we're all affected by stuff. And we all can go and find some help and stuff. Who told you you're the self-appointed savior of us to let us know that this is how you deal with it? Because we don't even know who she was, to be fair. You don't need to be the candidate. It's different if it was someone that's public facing already and then we already know them, we have an internet or celebrity relationship with them. Maybe them speaking up about their situation, because then it might be, no one really cares about who you are. You don't have to be the self-appointed guru of this situation.
She doesn't see it like that.
No, she doesn't.
There was Manny Cross, who was his best friend. He released a tape where he's talking to her, recording, and she says that she was as famous as him.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes maybe she actually earned more money than him as well.
What did she do?
She's a dancer as well. They used to do like couple dancing.
Yeah.
So she was like, she's a famous dancer in her own right.
Was she on Ellen as well?
No. They just had it was on their page as well, wasn't it? They would do stuff together.
So she's
she's a TikTok star.
Yeah, she was getting some choreography work as well, but she says that sometimes when she would get jobs, it was paying more than he was making as well. Like her arrogance she's talking, it is wild. Also, changing your surname 2 weeks after he passed as well. There's
what did she do?
She changed it to what? She changed it to like she removed Boss from Instagram. Like 2 weeks after he passed. Like there's lots of stuff. And then also as Miss Connie is saying, she is keeping the grandchildren away from her. Like she hasn't been able to see them. There's so many things that do happen when somebody passes in a family that we're seeing now.
Is that the same as Virgil Abloh? Like, I think there's some stuff around him.
Oh, does he?
And Off-White, the brand, I think that's being sold off, and people were having like a bit of issue with his wife and how that legacy is possibly not being
It's an ongoing thing.
It's an ongoing thing, and also his partner is not black either. So there's enough fuel for the fire for those that want to get Snow Bunny and behind Dr. Umar. For sure.
He ain't wrong often, is all I'm saying about Dr. Umar.
No,
he ain't wrong often.
50% of the time.
Broken clock. Or a temperamental clock. Oh, Freudian slip there. Clock? I did indeed.
Wow. Okay.
What's on your mind?
You guys are being enemy. Sade, who's your enemy of progress, please?
My enemy of progress. Gosh, it's not so. What do you call it? flagrant in that kind of way. My enemy of progress. I want to know what the hell is going on with Zuckerberg, please.
Oh gosh.
Seriously, Zuckerberg. Did Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon?
Yes, I don't know the question, but yes.
Did they have a meeting?
They did.
Did Elon strong arm them and say, you need to do what X is doing now and roll back all your DEI efforts? Because that's what it seems like.
They didn't want.
Trump did it.
I think that, yes, maybe Trump, but I think also Elon as well, because he mentions X. Like, Zuckerberg done this whole speech and he kept on mentioning X, like, oh, we're going to be like X in terms of like fact checking. There's going to be no more fact checking on Facebook, Instagram, what's the other one? Feuds as well anymore. They're going to turn it into community notes. And the center of that is going to move from California to Texas, where it's not so
Joe
balanced.
Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan too.
Basically, do you know what I mean? Like, it's more right leaning and everything like that. It's bloody ridiculous. So we've got those. Then we've got like Walmart and McDonald's also rolling back DEI.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not having McDonald's anymore anyway, but
they've been on the boycott.
I don't know that.
We don't
were
eat
in it too.
McDonald's.
Okay, McDonald's.
No. But Apple seem to be trying to fight the good fight at the moment. Whatever you think about them, they are trying to keep their DEI at the moment.
Okay.
They're taking it to the board. Don't think they've got a decision yet. But guys, is this the death of DEI?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Is it gone? Is it over? And is it going to affect us as well? Like, does it affect you in your daily lives? Have you benefited from DEI? All the questions in the comments put.
They won't be moderated. Go free. Have at it. Say what you want.
You can actually say what you
You can
want.
say what you want. Guys, we've warned you. Don't try it. Have I been? I don't even know if I've been a diversity hire. I probably have been.
You think?
I probably have been. I probably have been a diversity hire.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I probably.
Okay.
I've worked for a corporation. My melanin has shone out in the room, and
Was you the only one?
not. I do small teams, and yes, I've been the only one, and one of very, very few. I might have been a diversity hire. I don't know if I don't know if I was brought in because of the lacking, but I definitely feel like, anyway, whatever. It's a problem. I think it's a problem when you have organizations that don't reflect equally the talent, or they don't hire on equity versus whatever.
Equality
of equity. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. On merit, on what your skills basically, rather than just, getting them in because they're your friends. I think there's something that needs to happen to get rid of that. Then we go back to this whole pale male stale kind of situation. I don't like us begging to be in a space, but also when it's a space that's like universal, that we all contribute to, whether it's in the entertainment space, all these industries where we're a part of them, when you lean on us for money and numbers and all that type of stuff, then we should be able to enter into these spaces if we so want to. So yeah, it's a problem if that doesn't get addressed anymore.
I don't see it as a problem. And I'm not even trying to be a contrarian.
No, I know. I get what you mean.
I've never been a fan of DEI anyway as a concept, because I feel like it makes people numb, compliant. You follow the okie doke. You don't rebel against what is truly going on, because it's like you let the 5% come in and you show them off like, all you have to do is work harder and then you too could be a part of this organization, when really it's just fronts for racism. So actually, I prefer you give me racism really plain and we're not involved in it, because then we become really self-sufficient and we start making our own industries, we start making our own entertainment, we start building our own corporations, and we don't follow through and prep up these white men who have they take the best of our talent, really. So I'm actually for all of this plainness to come out. And it's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. People are going to lose their livelihoods. But then in that mire of the mud of like, oh my God, this is like, we're really seeing racism for what it is. Hopefully we have another resurgence from the 60s. Hopefully we get our backbone again.
I agree with that, because also DEI in these corporations has been shit. It has been performative in some instances. I think some people have benefited and thrived, and in some instances it is performative, because we also know that I've come across quite a few diversity leaders who have no power. I stopped when I started the British Blacklist 12 years ago. I was all gung-ho in it. Yeah, I'm going to, change the world. And I think maybe 3 years in or so, I said, I'm not going to another diversity event ever again, because you just know that you're talking to an echo chamber. Everyone in the room is like, yeah, there's all shit. And then you take it back to the boss who doesn't come to the events, and nothing gets changed. The higher it goes up the line. So there's problems with DEI, but I'm not sure about it being completely obliterated. But if it does come back in some sort of way, it needs to be with power and incentive.
I think there's a few things. All right. So I don't think I've been hired because I'm black. I think my skills have made me get the jobs that I've got. However, there is definitely a job that I've had, I'm not going to say where, that it benefited them that I am black, because there weren't no other blacks. So I think whilst they were giving me the job, it was like, okay, we've also ticked that box. That's wonderful. We've been able to do that. I think what works is blank hiring.
Yeah.
So rather than saying, go back a few years. When I first had a job at the BBC, I worked in BBC casting. It was like one of my first jobs. And we used to have to do a ratio, and it was like an actual tally that you'd have to take of the number of black people that you were putting up for auditions and the number of it was a whole thing. You had to make sure you met a certain quota, right? But what I think works is where you do hiring and it doesn't necessarily work in the entertainment industry if you're an actor, but if you're going for traditional kind of roles.
Yeah.
Where I work now, we remove names from all applications. So when I get an application, or a CV, all the personal details are removed other than their skills and what they can do. And off of that, we do a tally of there's a point system, and it's like they've scored a certain amount of points for this question. They've scored, what do I need for this position? And then off of that, they get the interview.
Yeah.
So I don't know what anybody looks like before I interview them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a fairer way, because then you get the people who will see a name like Farah and be like, ooh, it's not Jane Smith. I'm not going to interview her because she must be black. I think it removes that. But it's hard, because I feel kind of like both of you.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, let's remove this because it is performative. There's people that have worked in corporations that I've been in, and literally they don't do shit.
Yes.
And they hire the black person to do to be the head of this, because that's another box that they're ticking, but nothing changes.
Yeah.
On the ground, it's still the same. You still have people suffering from microaggressions every day when they go to work. There is no diversity of thought in they think that they can just go and start saying, oh, your hair looks different today. Did you grow it overnight? They think they can come and say shit like that to you. So it's educating people in many different ways, other than just we're filling a quota and we're hiring because you're black.
And we must be tired by now.
Honestly,
because we've been here through this stage. So I've been here from the 80s and 90s.
Of course.
And they've gone, you can come in now. And we've gone in and gone, right, this is really nice. Do you know what I mean? They go, you can go now.
Yeah.
And nothing's happened. Nothing's been rooted. We haven't put our foot down and gone, right, now that we've got this. We haven't. So this is a lie that we've been fed. George Floyd opened the doors to everything and just said, this is it now. Everybody wants to do something. I've got one black, I've got one Asian, I need one short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's do this, let's do that. Let's get all the stuff. We see adverts. I mean, the amount of black people on Christmas adverts, I nearly wrote in.
What's going on here?
I'm not going to John Lewis's. So you've got that and you think, that's nice, lovely. But tell me where your real commissioners are. Tell me what your producers are. Tell
power.
Me, by now we should have been there.
Yeah.
So it's a big distraction. So I don't care about your diversity. I actually don't care. I'm not going to no more meetings. I don't want to tick no boxes.
Yeah.
So I stopped that in the 90s because I realised then it was a game. I did this joke once when they said to me, go to the black department. I said, why you send me to the canteen?
That's fire.
The last time I was at the BBC.
Yeah, mate.
But the point I was making was because I know there's more black people there.
Yeah.
So after we've done all of that, we still haven't got anywhere. We're peppered.
Yes.
And so you must be tired now.
Yeah.
So after the distraction that we've had, we've wasted time.
Yes.
Because when we didn't go to the clubs, when they didn't want us in clubs, we started our own club.
Precisely.
But then when they didn't want in the restaurants, we had our own restaurants.
Yeah.
Clubs, everything, comedy club. That's how it started. Then we started building. Then they go, oh my God, they're doing really well over there.
Yeah.
Let's go and get them and bring them back over here.
And then
you get,
how do we stop them?
you get excited. And you come over here and you think, oh my God, guess where I am? I'm at the BBC. I got a meeting. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Sit down in the meeting. What would you do if you were to do this? Well, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I'll do that. Thank you very much. Bye. Take your idea, gone.
Exactly,
Yeah.
So we've done that. So right now I couldn't care less because I haven't seen the development of it. I haven't seen it rooted. I haven't seen people go, right, I am the commissioner and I can't be sacked. I can't be sacked when you get tired of me.
Yeah.
Because they get
ownership.
They
for
get
real.
tired of
Ownership is true. That's for real.
And I think we're going to see it worse now because they've been going, how long is this on? How long are we doing this for?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm conflicted. I can't lie. I'm definitely conflicted because in my the bulk of my tech career, I will say, I ran a diversity program basically called Top Talent at Google, and it was about placing the top Black talent from universities into roles at Google and everything like that. And I have to say that although many of those people don't work in tech at the moment, they've done very, very, very well. And I think like having those kinds of networks or having those kinds of opportunities helps growth, it helps self-esteem, it helps confidence, it helps all of those kind of things. And if you're the best of the best, why shouldn't you be at the best companies? Like, do you know what I mean? Your race shouldn't stop you from being there. And yeah, so I'm conflicted because I've seen it work well for sure. But then also being inside companies like that as well, be careful what I'm saying. When you bring people together and you have like employee resource groups and stuff, there is a sense of community, there's a sense of belonging, all that kind of stuff. But they have a massive issue with retention.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because even though we are now allowed to, 2 and more of us allowed to gather and it's not an issue, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like
Riots.
You still can't, you still will have dealing with microaggressions, dealing with problems with your boss, maybe not getting promoted, all these kind of things. And it does wear you down. Being pushed to the diversity, like extra
being expected to be the voice of all Black people.
Basically. I had a situation
on that committee.
Yeah.
Which kind of don't make sense. I've always wondered that. Maybe you guys can shed some light. Why is it with the diversity spaces, why is it that it's the Black people that are there? Like, why should...
That's what I'm saying.
I always feel like, should it not be the white people that you're bringing your white colleagues along to learn more? Why is it on the Black person's shoulders to teach people?
But I think it's what you said, it's distraction. Yeah. Basically, that's how it works. It's like, okay, we're going to do this thing, but here's all this paperwork, here's all the meetings you have to do, here's all the programs, here's all the thing, and you just get lumbered with work, essentially. Do you know what I mean? And it just keeps you there. It keeps you busy. When you're not actually dealing with the actual problem, which is the higher ups like changing policy for, there should be like fair hiring
your
stuff.
thing over there, you would have built it.
Exactly.
You'd have done it. You'd have gone, right, it's small. I'm getting here, I'm doing it. And now I've got my own to now employ to bring in the talent that they're bringing in on a favour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also there is the negatives of diversity as well, is that they just hire, they're Black, they're a woman, okay, cool, get them in. And then if they don't do well, they're set up to fail in a sense where actually, did you actually hire on talent? Because then you have that problem where then mediocrity and basic stuff goes through, you make a mistake, you get fired or something goes wrong. And then it's like, okay, every Black person is now
I would, in my experience, that didn't happen very often at all, because for you to compete at that level, you had to be the best of the best of the best. You couldn't, because at every stage, someone is trying to push their person over yours. And you will always be, unfortunately, because of the colour of your skin, the weakest. Like, they will see you as the weakest. So it's just like, it's frustrating because you have highly talented Black people in these roles doing like mediocre work when they're actually overqualified.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
to
Like
do
kind
the
of
job.
thing.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes people like, it soul destroys them because they're just like, well, why am I here? I fought to be here and it's not even great. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think again, I am conflicted with the whole diversity thing because it goes back to the hiring process as well.
Yeah.
Because it's been like this kind of media industry that we're in is based on nepotism and who you know, and that's usually where people get the jobs. When I was growing up, I certainly didn't know anyone that looked like me and was from where I was from in the jobs that I'm in or have been in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to let people coming up, like children, know that there are other careers that they can look into. Why can't they go and work for a television studio? Why can't they go and work for a film studio? Why can't they focus on building their own film studio, but having learned the steps to doing that? But when when you're in school, you're not told that these things are achievable. So I do think it is important to let people experience that, like what you did at Google. We do similar things at where I work now, and it's not talk. It's not lip service. These are actually plans that happen. You've got organizations like Mama Youth, for example, and they go and they make sure that they are talking to the production companies and getting people who would never have been exposed to that into those spaces and training them. And then after that, it's about whether or not you're able to, really do the work. So that's kind of why I'm conflicted. There's elements where it is definitely needed, because if you're going to just have Peter hire Paul all the time, no one else is going to learn anything, are they?
And also as well, see that blind, what do you call it? The blind hiring. That's like your company's chosen to do that. It's not a requirement.
It isn't.
It's not a legislation.
It isn't.
Do you know what I mean? They've opted in.
Yeah.
And the thing is these kind of attitudes trickle over here. They will just roll this back.
Yes, they will.
They'll completely roll this back. Do you know what I mean? Which I always say, like, as well, like, just to know, like, just go where you're celebrated, like, honestly, and build your own as well.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Those are the ways, because we've kind of lived before diversity.
Yeah.
Like, we've had careers before, like DEI and everything like that. We're fine. Do you know what I mean?
The audience has changed.
Yeah.
We've got so much power as to have us, but we've not been told that actually we do need you. We need to sign you because your following over here is huge. So it's not actually that we're doing. We're actually doing something else, dressing it up as this.
Yes.
But you've come in thinking that we're doing that, but actually we need you.
Yeah.
So understanding your power and understanding that the world has changed, the audience has changed, the stage has changed, and the ability has changed. So the people at the TV is dying right now.
Yeah.
It's dying. They don't want to make shows anymore because they can't afford to.
They can't afford it.
Yeah.
So now they have to go the reality route, or who's on social media that's popping. Let's get them in and show them, and everybody. They don't quite know what they're doing right now. So we're in a really good position. We're in a really powerful position because sorry to just say, the world is the audience.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
we're the majority.
The borders have been broken down.
Yeah.
Before I get into my real enemy, I just want to quick point out, Westfield, you're my enemy, Westfield is a problem.
Okay, please elaborate.
Because my beautiful pod sisters, as we do routinely, for my birthday, I got a lovely gift voucher. Thank you so much again. I've now bought my items.
Oh, you mean the store?
What did you think?
Westfields. No, Westwood.
You were thinking of Tim.
Yeah,
That's why you said forever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what you said.
Part-time enemy of Westwood's in the bin forever. Make that clear. Never part-time, all day long. Bun you, man. We're coming for you again. Don't worry. You'll probably be on the list this year. No, Westfield's a shopping centre, right? Bun you forever, because what the hell? I will go in there because it's my local, but I'm annoyed with you, right? You guys got me a wonderful gift voucher. I didn't realise it said Stratford on it. It's fine. But I would have thunked.
Mine said West London.
This is it. Go on, tell the story. Tell the story. Because I know. Tell the story.
I would have thunked because as most gift vouchers on this earth, in this Western land do, is wherever you get the gift voucher, you can spend it in the similar building or brand that it is from. So here's me, Bob, because West London, White City, Westfield, London, wherever it's hell it's called in West London, is my local. So here's me, very chipper, went to go and get my stuff with my voucher. Card denied. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I was going to say, oh, Nans, maybe there was a discrepancy. Maybe something happened. But I went to customer service. Hello, could you please check out my voucher? And the first thing he said, well, this red. And I'm like, and he goes, it's from Stratford. It's me. And what do you want me to do with the and? It's a voucher. Man said, no, you can't use it here. And I said, are you freaking dumb? He goes, no, you can't use it here. I'm like, it's Westfield, the brand. Why can't I use the voucher here? He said, well, the only way you can either go to Stratford. I said, Bunny, I'm not doing that. He said, or you can transfer the funds from the, this is all imaginary, because money isn't real, by the way. This imaginary transfer of the funds in the machine back onto the card. With the card, it's lies.
The same card.
The same card. Not even a new card, right? He said, okay, I'll do a boop, 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 and then it will be your funds that are already on it will be retransferred. Minus 10 fucking pound. They took £10. Guys, you need to give me £10, by the way.
You can get lost.
They took £10 from my gift voucher to put back on. No, because I was saying to him, okay, the journey to Stratford at this point will be roughly about £7 anyway. So let me just use my £10 and just lose out. Okay, so I had to change it. So I lost £10 and the remainder was on the same card. It's the fact that it's not even on this. Even give me the gold one. I think the Westfield one, gold or white. No, it's gold. It's gold.
Let's not forget, he made a point to say to you, but it's red. But you press 2 buttons and the red don't matter.
Right? And I was like, no.
But you took £10.
But and you took
£2, and he goes, because it's an external company. So I don't care if it's an external company. Westfield, if I have a voucher from H&M that was bought in Oxford Circus, I can use it in any H&M I want to.
Go on, Sade.
No, I was just going to say, this is probably, you should hold on to all those details. There'll probably be a lawsuit in about 5 years.
And there needs to be.
You'll probably get money back.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an absolute
insane.
scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
My
Exactly.
voucher that I got, that was gold, and it says West London on it, and I went to Westfields in Stratford, where I live, and I went to the concierge, and I was like, can I use this here? Of course you can. Can I use it in any shop in here? You can use it in any shop in here. And I went and I spent my goodies.
I have a theory.
Is it racism?
I have a theory.
Is it sexism and racism?
You just don't like East London and West. What can I say?
No, I'm not even going to give that.
It's not even that. Because that to me is an absolute scam.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
And when it happened, I was like, but Nana used hers in Stratford. It's so stupid.
It's a scam beyond
Like
scam.
so many people that must happen to.
Like I must travel to Stratford to spend. Are you dumb? That's dumb.
It's a scam.
That is so stupid.
I'm going to try and get that £10 back for you.
Let's go. Let's march. We march at dawn.
10 times 10 times 10.
Like I was so incensed.
Were you seething?
I was seething.
No, that is such a scam though.
£10.
But you didn't even get a new card.
Even, like, just give me something different to make me even feel a modicum of betterness.
£10.
The same said card. So I don't even know what you did. You just said that now there's, for all I know. Sure.
But Sade did say, when we were sorting it out, she was like, I don't think she can use that in West London.
She did.
And I was
Really?
like, I used my
She did.
I did say it. I flagged.
Why did you think it wouldn't be used? Couldn't be used?
Because when I got mine, I think I saw it somewhere. So I went to White City.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was never going.
Yeah.
Because you said
you tried to use it in Stratford and then
No,
you...
I didn't
Oh,
try.
when you were in...
I looked
cool.
I looked
Online. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I just didn't even. I didn't even think, because you said you read yours and so you had a quick.
I read it and it said the West London thing, and I was like, this don't seem right, because I swear I've either had another one before that Femi got me and it was from West London, and I used it. So I just went and asked just to. It was more to be pedantic, because if I couldn't, I was going to be like, why did you go and buy me something from West London? And now I've got to travel there. But they said you can use it.
Wow, because I
was ready to call you.
Wait, that's jokes.
We want that £10 back.
We want it back.
Come and get it.
Times 10
Now.
times 10.
All right, so now my other enemy is Kemi Badenoch. She's been putting out misinformation, racial misinformation, and I don't listen, woman. Let's see how many times you're on the list this year. So I'm going to run through this. Go to It's going to be quite quick, long. Who knows? Kemi Badenoch, the UK Conservative leader, recently went on GB News to discuss grooming gangs and the failures of authorities to address the issue. That's all good. Do that. Complain. It's an issue. She called for a national inquiry. However, our current Prime Minister Keir Starmer doesn't want a national inquiry. He wants to use a previous report and build on that. Cool. Again, discuss it. Let's sort it out. But what's got people pissed off is that Kemi, being Kemi, she lent into the whole thing about grooming gangs, the stereotypes. She said, it's crucial that an inquiry looked at cultural issues and that a systematic pattern of behaviour, not even just from one country, but from sub-communities within those countries. She said the perpetrators came from a very poor background, a sort of peasant background, very, very rural, almost cut off from even the home origin countries that they might have been in. They're not necessarily first generation. The jobs that they were doing, taxi drivers, jobs which allow them to exhibit this predatory behaviour. Basically, she's leaning into the anti-immigrant rhetoric and the stereotype that most grooming gangs in the UK are from South Asian communities, notably Pakistani. However, there's some facts out here. Recent data from the National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, says in 2023, there were 4.2 thousand cases of group-based child SA reported, with 76% of suspects being men and 78% of victims being women. Ethnicity data shows that 83% of offenders were white, while 2% were Pakistani, suggesting no disproportionate representation of Pakistani men in current cases. And just to note that the term grooming gangs refers to a specific subset of group-based child SA exploitation. In 2023, 17% of group-based child SA cases were classified as child SA exploitation involving grooming gangs. The majority of these offenders were also predominantly white.
Kemi.
She's being used.
No.
Yeah.
You're saying she's being used?
She's being used by who?
I mean,
She's offered herself up.
she's offered herself.
She's offered it. She's like, I'm a vessel.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that, but she's allowing herself to be used.
She's a vessel for white supremacy.
Yeah,
that's what she is.
And she volunteered.
She did volunteer.
herself.
But she's still being
Hand
used
up
as a
in the
face.
air.
She's still being used as the face.
No, she ain't even being
She's
used.
not being used.
She volunteered herself.
She's
No,
an
willing-
actual
a willing participant.
She's
She's
fought to
consented.
get where she is.
Yeah,
She
she
didn't, they didn't find her and say, "Oh, Kemi, come and do this."
No.
She has
She
fought
fought herself.
to be where
Yeah,
she is.
it's true.
Don't give her that grace. About
I wasn't
being-
giving her grace.
No.
I'm just saying that she's been.
No.
They're using her. But yes,
I
she's willing.
think when you say use, I think what it is that she's kind of like in a position that they can use.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Because she is in a. She disappoints me. She
Honestly.
in such a way because she's very articulate and she can fight and she can really perform well.
Mhm.
If she was ever performing on the right side of history, you'd actually be quite impressed by her.
Yeah.
Because when she goes head to head with Kia, she really does go.
She does.
And you think, actually, it's quite nice to see somebody really be able to go for it. It's just disappointing that you represent everything that we've been fighting against.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, especially when you see a black woman in that position.
Yeah.
You just feel like, what was the point? What was the point in having somebody that can stand up in front and go, I am this black woman, I'm doing this, not for just black women, but for the world.
Right.
I got integrity, I got whatever. We see it. And you look at her and you think to yourself, you don't get it. When you were running in, when you were in power, you didn't see anything. You didn't want to look into the inquiry. You didn't want to do anything about it. So now that you're not in power, you want everybody else to go back and look at this whole thing that is a complete whatever front in it. So I do think that she's somebody that is, what's the word I want to use that is politically correct? because I'm tired of her. It's like Nana from. It's like no, because you
They're
look at.
competing. They're competing.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Literally.
But I don't understand why they don't understand why they don't understand.
They do understand.
Understand.
They do. I understand
They know
them.
what they're doing.
Yeah, they do know what they're doing.
know what
I
they're
have to
doing.
have some sort of no, you can't. Just so that I can have the sense of well, at least when they come through, you go,
potting
"Which one
it.
to tell you?" Use hand cream. Use hand cream.
There's no way Kemi Badenoch doesn't know, because
She doesn't.
the thing is, the 464 page review is actually there. Like, it's been done and
Already?
it's and nothing was implemented by the Conservatives. So, we had a whole inquiry.
Right.
We didn't do anything about it. And it's Elon Musk. Comes out and
coming out with his
is
mouth.
tweeting all of the British politicians and being like, what's going on? No, stoking all of this fire, where you're now jumping on this wave that right wings have been doing on Twitter and saying it's all of these Pakistani gangs. You know that isn't the truth.
Exactly.
The commissioner has said that's not the truth, and they're not actually overrepresented either. So this is this is really, it's a problem with men and it's a problem with white men.
Yeah.
So is she trying to say that like working class people, because all of that
It's like, because the minute
communities, are you talking about working class white people?
But when you say sub-communities and within those countries, immediately, even if it's like it's word salad, but you're still a poor background, sort of peasant background, that's giving that ruddy face, brown faced person. You're not thinking of a white person. It's just literally feeding those bat signals to people, or dog whistles or whatever it is, the people that just jump on racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the word peasant for me.
Yeah.
Peasant.
It's an old word, isn't it?
It's an old word.
People use it, but I'm surprised she used it. I really am.
I'm with a straight
surprised.
face.
Yeah,
peasants.
she meant it. That's how she speaks.
Imagine.
Casually. Like,
I wonder if the report breaks down into class actually in the numbers of men, because this is not like just a working class thing at all.
no, it
She needs to look at her own party. She needs to look at the nonsense that happened in her own party.
Yeah.
And the number of them that are being done for sex crimes.
Yes, there is that too.
That was all.
It's disgusting behavior. Like, honestly, it's disgusting.
It is.
To kind of like use this for political clout is just disgraceful. Like, honestly.
And
There's no level she won't go low on. Like, there's nothing. Nothing can say, like, she will go low all the time. She's constantly in hell.
You know,
I like it here.
The devil.
Honestly.
yeah, there's a special
there.
place in hell for her.
She's there, man.
do we have time for any more enemies?
Hang on, what we at? We can do one. What's our?
Oh,
What's our
I've got
top
one.
one.
Oh, Obama.
Oh yeah, you wanted to go with Obama.
This event, just quickly, because Obama's been on my enemy list for a little while now.
Yeah.
And he's in the bin this time round because it was former President Jimmy Carter's funeral. I think last week or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was seen at the funeral with President-elect Trump,
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
like,
Yes, it's icky.
it was proper icky. It's like, what do you have to laugh with President Trump about? And then you saw Kamala look behind. She gave the proper black woman to. She was like,
Yeah.
She might as well have kissed her teeth. She didn't kiss her teeth, but she just went. But you saw her after. She was like,
Yeah.
Because why are you laughing so hard? Wasn't this the man that you was cussing the other day?
It's all a game.
And I get like that's the part. It's all a game.
Yeah.
But did you notice that Michelle wasn't there?
Michelle wasn't there, and if Michelle was there, she would have kept him in check.
kept it in check.
She would have kept him in check.
And do you know where else Michelle ain't going to be? At the inauguration.
Nor should she be.
And nor should
Why?
she be.
Just
Because
said, look, guess what? I've finished.
I tired of packy show.
Going back there. And as far as I'm concerned, what can Obama do? Obama's sitting there next to whatever. How many times have you sat next to somebody you cannot stand, right? And they've just walked into the room and you've gone, oh, hi, you're right. You've done that look and they sat next to you. And then they go, you're right. I mean, I saw a friend at a funeral who hates me and I don't like her. And was at the funeral. And she stood next to me. And I was like, please. Don't use this death to draw anything from me. So I tried to keep my face straight, like when you look like what Obama might have tried to do, like go. So I went, "You're right, Edge." I went, "Yeah." So I tried to go to an emotional place, like, and then she was like, "So, what are you up to?" And I went. I can't.
You can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so suppose I did and went, you know what? Because it's a sad place. How are you? Because that's the time to refresh and go, look at life. Life is short, you know? And get life's short. This is all right. So if somebody saw us talking, they'd be going,
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was sitting next to someone like Trump and Trump will go, hello. And you go, you're such an idiot. What is wrong with you? And then just enjoy it for what it is. I don't know. Because I didn't look at him like that. I think you're just playing the game. If you didn't speak to him, people go,
oh, that would have been a whole...
He should have done this. Be petty. You were petty when he was standing up telling people to vote for Kamala and not Trump. Be petty. Continue your pettiness.
Yeah.
He
all
could
the
have turned
pantomime,
towards
mate.
Bush's
All the
wife
They're all
and spoke
brethren.
to her.
They are all
They're
bred.
all
That's the thing, it's all a
politicians
game.
always
They're
say
all
that.
bred.
They
all
say,
a game.
Yeah.
especially over here, they're like, we all go to the same bar and we drink.
Yeah.
there. Like we're
all a
all
game.
friends
It's like when you
to
see
a
the
certain
lawyers.
degree.
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
they're all friends. They will negotiate. Okay, so our side are planning this, your side are going to go with
Because
this.
they have have to, really.
they
They
have
have to
to.
have some sort of communication.
Yeah.
But
Still in
Michelle,
the
I
bin.
rate her for just saying, no, I'm going to get my hair done.
Yeah.
I'm not on that.
Yeah, run that. We finished that white ass business a long
I
time.
ain't going back there. It's true.
Yeah, good.
I don't know. She could come back.
She
again.
could.
No,
she
she's
could,
not coming
though.
back.
You
2030?
No,
She
No,
ain't
no, no.
doing
What did I
it. She
say
don't
for
want
her?
to do it.
Do you think?
26.
I don't think
She said she can't stand it, but boy.
She could come back.
She might not have a
she
choice.
could come back, but I don't think she.
She
will.
might have to be forced.
She could be president.
I'm not saying she,
She could
couldn't.
get elected.
I'm not saying she
they love
couldn't.
her.
It's that she
Yeah.
wants to be.
If it wasn't not her and Kamala, that she would have gone.
She would have won.
No,
Easy.
Yeah.
She could have won.
She would have definitely won.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this
She?
round.
No,
There's
no,
too
no.
much
I
stuff
think
going
she
Yeah,
on.
would've- I
but
think
she
she
could have.
would've won.
Easy.
I thought
If it was a
think she would've
cleaner
won.
turnover, like that was too short notice and all that kind of stuff.
Nah, I
But
think she would've won.
Joe took it. She
No,
just
she's not
wouldn't
too long.
quit.
It's
Like,
fine.
Joe suffered a coup.
Yeah,
He
he did.
didn't want to give up
Are you
anything.
crying for Joe?
I'm not crying for any of these heifers. But it was a coup, man.
It was a coup. It was
The
a
dude didn't want to not carry on fighting. It was like they ambushed him.
There needs to
No,
be an age
he needs-
limit.
he
I'm-
needs to
I'm-
listen
I'm
to
go-
reason.
I'm back
Yeah.
Fred.
and quicker. Huh?
I just said there needs to be an age limit. I back Fred. But
Oh, what, Fred Santana?
not like his stupid age limit, but I mean like ain't flipping Biden 90.
Yeah.
And
like-
Trump's even in 70. Was it?
Yeah,
Well,
man.
it's
Like
77.
there has to be a point when you lot can't make decisions no more. Seriously, especially a man like Biden. You can't even dress yourself
But
in the
he
morning.
started off okay. I think they
He
poisoned him.
absolutely
Oh my
did
God.
not.
Allegedly.
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 Okay. I'm just. He started off compos mentos, and by the end, he can't even stay awake.
He's
I can't even say his
But
name.
also-
How old is he?
Oh,
70.
no, he's old.
Who,
And Biden.
Or was he 90?
He ain't in his 70s.
Oh, no,
he's,
sorry,
in his
sorry,
80s.
sorry, no, he's in his 80s.
He's in his 80s. He ain't 70
Late
something.
70s.
82 years old.
Yeah,
Same
see?
age as me, same age as me, man.
Should it end at 65?
No, I think that's
Same age as
What's
me,
that?
man.
Retirement
not
age,
the
isn't
at
it?
that age.
Retirement
Yeah.
age.
Do you know what needs to retire? Chatty patty men who are in their
Oh.
40s
Only in their 40s.
and beyond, to be fair.
And
I
earlier.
just want to give a put in the bin. Oh, by the way, announcement, Drake has taken back part of his lawsuit and now he's just focusing on defamation. So Drake, academics, Cameron, Jim Jones, 50 Cent, all in this mix-up of nonsense. It's
Not
too-
50.
Not 50. Remove 50.
50 is a truth teller.
Remove 50.
This is my enemy of progress.
Okay.
I rebuke that.
Rebuke all you want. The mix-up is mixing and 50's always in the middle. Chatty
telling the
patty
truth.
mix-up men need to stop it. Too much drama.
All right, go on. What's happened? What they
Okay,
said?
it's nutshell. I'm trying to nutshell this stuff because there's a lot. So there's a triangular or quadrupler with academics, Drake, and a guy called Chris Blake and Stephon Diggs. All this stuff. So apparently Chris Blake is alleging that Stephon Diggs, a former NFL player, tried to drug him and do stuff to him and then got him
What,
beat
to
up
Drake?
to Chris Blake.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's a celebrity stylist.
Okay.
He alleges this on the socials.
Right.
Then he was like, this is out of order, man. So for some reason, he DM'd Drake and said, Drake, help me get this word out there that this man tried to do this to me. Drake was like, no, man, I cannot. And whilst that happened, then a producer called Conductor Williams uploaded Drake's Fighting Irish freestyle, which among other things, lots of things whatever he said, he kind of sneaked this as LeBron James because LeBron was seen very much enjoying Kendrick's music and pop-out show, all this type of stuff. So he pledged his allegiance to Kendrick. Drake is upset because him and LeBron are supposed to be brothers. Had Drake got LeBron's tattoo on his
He
body?
has indeed.
Imagine that.
Like a little bitch.
Oh, right. So then, back to Chris Blake. He now shares the screenshots of these alleged DMs with Drake, saying, look, this is what happened. Drake said he can't help him out. And also Drake specifically said he compared his legal battle with Universal Music Group to Nike funding a campaign about LeBron cheating on his wife. So he's also allegedly releasing little snippets that LeBron James has cheated on Savannah. You with me so far? Chatty patty.
He's again a little bitch.
So then, Drake's number one fanboy, Academics, enters the chat. DJ Academics,
His very own Stevie J.
Yeah.
very much so. He's jumped out saying,
Stevie J.
Quiet.
saying that the DMs are fake and it's been verified by Drake, who he calls the boy, alleging that they're best friends. However, then Chris gets on the live with academics and they have this back and forth. And Chris is like, don't let Drake use you because Drake tells you lies. Then you go and spout them and you look like the fool. Academics like, yeah, for real. Still alleges that it's true. Whatever. However, next day or however many days later, Academics goes on a crazy rant. He now starts accusing LeBron of engaging in two-man escapades with Drake in Toronto, stating Drake used to supply you with the B words, white women that you love. I've talked to enough hoes in Canada to get this true. That's what he alleges. He went on a rant screaming on the socials about this, exposing LeBron. That is it. But this drama, unnecessary, gossipy.
They're all these are big
old.
men.
Drake is 38, Academics is 33, and everybody in between needs to stop it. And then we got hip-hop legends, Cameron, Jim Jones, 50 Cent and Mace, all in this mix-up. So Dipset, if you know about hip-hop, Dipset have always been at beef and stuff. They've done great music, then they beef and they fall out. So apparently Jim Jones came on a podcast and was walking down memory lane, and he said Mace always disrespected Cameron. With me so far? Mm-hmm. Apparently, back in the day, after signing with Bad Boy and questioned Cam's leadership within the Diplomats. Jones's remarks prompted Cameron to issue a scathing response during an episode of It Is What It Is. Cam dismissed Jones's Harlem roots, saying, "You're from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. You were a fan who begged us to come to your house." Men!
Are you really from there?
Are you really from there?
Literally now, you've named like about 10 hardback men, right, who have been going on. What are they doing? Is this on Twitter?
Podcasting men with mic. What do you call them, Sade?
Problematic men with platforms.
Right.
Just chatting about each other.
So then also,
this is
Cameron also criticised Jones for reconciling with past adversaries because apparently Jim Jones was upset because Cameron made up with 50 because 50 and Cameron used to have beef and then they made friends. So Jim Jones is upset. So Cam then, why are you upset? Because you make up with every N-word that puts hands on you. Apparently people that beat him up, now Jim Jones is friends with them. 50 Cent then entered the chat and decided to say that talking about Jim Jones, saying individual one, I mean, Jomo, Jimmy, you better holler at Cam privately and chill out. Basically warning him, don't start putting my name in this shit, blah, 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 blah. Cameron decided that this would be his final... After all of this, Cameron South said, this is my final public statement on this relationship. I'm not going to do this every 9 years. I've got other shit to do. And that's the end of that. These men... All of them are 48 years old.
Why is 50 in the mix?
50 shouldn't be on the list.
50 shouldn't be.
Who's on the list?
The statement,
wait.
The statement that you just made that he said, all he said was stop talking online. Basically. And you're putting him in the mix.
Adding himself in the mix. Don't get involved.
They were with his name and he said stop chatting.
Be quiet. Everyone's being a chatty.
He said stop chatting.
Likes chatting.
On this topic that you spent 5 minutes talking about, he said stop chatting.
There's a bunch of 48-year-old men chatty patty in the mix.
50's not
it's
included
enough
in that.
now.
Who are these men?
Right. Hip-hop legends, apparently.
They're not my legend.
I mean, they are. Like,
I know him.
Jim Jones, Dipset, Mace.
That's literally all I know.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the other ones, other than Drake, Academics, all of those other names, I have
Chris Baker's a celebrity stylist. Stefan is an NFL player.
But they're getting such expression now that, I mean, isn't it good to talk? I mean, the thing is now, black men talking, right, is good. But what's happening now is that they can't stop.
They're oversharing.
I have been saying this.
I cannot believe that anybody's interested. And so when they start talking about their lives, they're going on and on. And it's like the reflection that they're going through, and they go too far and then they expose themselves. And then somebody comes back and goes, didn't go like that, it went like this. Now, that side of things, I think, needs to stop.
It does.
Because when I watched, it's Cameron guy that wears the hair.
No,
Who's
that's
the pink.
what's his name?
The guy that does the
football.
Yeah, he does do.
God, what's his name?
Who wears a hat?
Oh God, and he's talking about his missus, his exes, and not marrying.
Yeah.
I know
Wait,
his
talking
name.
about Cinco.
No, not Cinco. There's Cinco with Shannon, and then the other
The
guy.
other guy.
The one that talks about not marrying his people. What's the one? NFL player.
Is he the one that was
I know you're talking about.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
So I was like in there going, oh my God, that doesn't sound like him. But the thing is with him, he's now talking, right?
Yeah.
In a way that it's like Nick Cannon. It's this door has opened
Yes,
up
the floodgates.
where people are going, I just want to talk now. And I don't think they've been able to talk before. So now we can sit back and go, all right, get it off your chest. And I think they need to get it off their chest now. But the thing is, they don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
Now with all the Diddy and the Jay-Z and all that stuff that's going on, everybody's running for it because sales are coming out of this.
Yeah.
That's what comes out of it. It's all business. People put a little bit of there, your numbers go up. And so we're going to see that a lot from them.
What they need to do is stop saying that women love gossip because it's not true.
In my experience, men are the biggest chatterbox.
Biggest.
Yeah.
They chat most.
Chat.
Yeah.
Get most information from men.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They do want to say, they want to tell you.
Yeah.
And then like you listen like, oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
They use
And we have good questions.
Yeah.
You know, when they want to share
Put
a
it out.
story, because it's like we can probe a bit. So what happened there?
Yeah.
Sometimes other men don't probe in the same way. So they like talking.
So they don't
They
get to
do.
talk. So they do barbershop. Remember it was barbershop.
Yeah.
That's where they could talk. Now, podcast.
Podcast.
So sometimes I'm going through some podcasts and I'm thinking, you're not ready to speak. You're not
qualified.
You're not qualified. This is dangerous because people are going to believe you. There's a lot. So there should be an edit going on there.
Honestly, it's enough.
I've been saying this. You lot don't stop fucking talking.
No.
It's just like
It's enough now. It's
as
really
for Drake. I'm
Well,
just gonna swing back that
go
way.
on.
Unsurprisingly.
swing way.
Why is he trying to deflect? Like, okay, I'm not even going to sit here and say about LeBron because I don't know the man's business, but what's that got to do with anything? Why is that your thing now?
Because
Why, like, what?
He's
Why go on for that,
upset
though,
that his
Drake?
brother was
Oh, shut
took
up.
side.
Do you know how many people? Do you know how many people, millions of people around the world listen to that song?
Yeah.
Are you going to go and like pick bones at everyone that did that?
Is
Like,
it right to sue for defamation in a hip hop battle?
No, he's not.
Get it on record.
No, he
No,
is
it's a
not.
hip-hop battle.
So what, should Kendrick sue him for defamation?
this
You
is the
said the man
thing.
beats his wife and like his
Right.
babies are not his babies. Like,
Exactly.
so what, should Kendrick come out and say something to you? He just needs to hold a L and just settle down.
And just
Go and try and get someone to write you some new bars
yeah,
Okay.
because you don't write them.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Get it off my chest. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Miss Angie Le Mar. Thank you for being with us.
So cool.
We're about to get into Ms. Lamar's business. So if you've got a membership, you're going to find it all out first.
For
Okay.
$4.99.
Yes.
$4.99.
Cheaper than a bag of chips.
Possibly.
No cod.
For sure. All right.